Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be taking a look, having a little first impressions of the SNK 40th anniversary collection for the Nintendo Switch. I've really been looking forward to this, couldn't wait to get my hands on it, and now I have it. And I wanted to share with you guys a quick little overview of what you can expect to get with this package. So people, don't get it twisted. Yes, this is SNK 40th anniversary. They've released the Neo Geo Mini, and there's a lot of Neo Geo games being released on the Nintendo Switch for download, but this collection here does not contain Neo Geo games. This is all pre like 1990 and earlier, you know, which SNK, they did a lot of arcade stuff and like NES games, you know, in the 80s to early 90s, and that is what this contains. Nothing Neo Geo, but still a lot of sweet games. The one thing I want to point out is, you know, I had a hard time over, you know, since this was announced, finding out what the actual game list was. It's been available for a while now to know what's actually on here, but I noticed something with the packaging here is that it doesn't list how many games are included or, you know, a precise list of what's actually on the cartridge. And I think that is an odd omission, because I would imagine you would lose sales from people just picking this up and being like, well, what's on here? I don't even know what this is, because it's not very specific as far as what games you get. From what I'd seen, people have been saying it's 13 games, but when I booted this bad boy up, there's actually 14 games on it. And those 14 games, there's a mix of, some of them will have the arcade version and the home version, the console version. So if you count that, there's actually more than 14 games. And they actually do have plans, I believe on December 11th, about a month from now, there's going to be an update for this bad boy. Oh, my screen went dim. That's going to give you an extra 11 games, so boosting it up to like 25 games. I think that's pretty sweet, and it's a free download if you've bought this. But the only thing that it says on the back of this box is, return to the golden age of arcade gaming. Enjoy some of SNK's finest classics in 1080p from Crystalis to Ikari Warriors. Those are the only two games that they mention. Rewind and Save lets you pick up from anywhere at any time. Travel through time and relive the history of SNK with high-def artwork and promo assets. Yeah, there's a lot of little screenshots on there of Ikari Warriors and a few other games, but it's just not specific. It's not telling you what's actually on there. And, you know, for most of us who are educated on these things and look into it before we buy it, that's fine. But I think for, you know, a blind consumer, maybe somebody who sees this in the store and is like, SNK? Oh my God, like, that's Neo Geo, you know, something like that. And they pick this up and they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, I don't even, what's on here? They're gonna be confused and they might just toss it back and not buy it. So, I mean, something on there, like 14 games, 13 games, something listed. Even if you didn't list each game, like something should be on there to tell you what, you know, what the value is to the money you're spending, which just seems odd to me. That's my biggest criticism, is the packaging on this, and that's just out of concern for consumers. I mean, I could care less. I know what's on here. I'm fine with it. So let's just jump into the actual game here. I really dig the presentation. So Digital Eclipse is the ones who put this together for SNK. Digital Eclipse, they do a lot of awesome ports, mostly for Capcom that we've seen. They did like the Disney little Saturday afternoon, whatever the heck it was, that collection, which I can't remember what it's called. Why? Because you never released it on Nintendo Switch. Come on now. But they did like the Street Fighter anniversary. They did a bunch of stuff. They've done a lot of cool things. But the presentation is really beautiful with this. I love how the front end works, similar to like a hyperspin setup or a track mode setup. You can scroll down, look through your games. If you wait a second, let it idle for a second, you'll get like a little splash screen of gameplay. And I think that's pretty neat. Really nice touches that we have here. So here are the games that's included right now. Like I said, a lot of people said 13 games, but there's 14 on here. So I don't know if one was added from DLC or, you know, the update that was on here. I'm not 100%, but there are 14 games available. We have Alpha Mission, and I believe Alpha Mission arcade and console. And then we have Athena, which is arcade and console. We have Crystalis, which is just gonna be a console, which is an awesome game. Tons of hours of gameplay in that bad boy. Guerrilla War, arcade and console. Ikari Warriors. Each one of these is going to be arcade and console. So you have the Ikari Warriors 2, Victory Road, and Ikari 3, The Rescue. Iron Tank, The Invasion of Normandy. Just the console version. There's no arcade, I guess. POW should be both, right? Arcade and console. Love that game. That's one of my favorites. Oops, we backed out. Let's get back down there, right? Prehistoric Isle. Just the arcade. Psycho Soldier. Just the arcade. That artwork kind of, I don't know about that. It looks a little goofy, but whatever. It's still pretty cool. You know, it loads up the little gameplay trailer for a second there. Definitely a neat game. I'm gonna have to play that one. I don't think I've ever played that. Street Smart? Is that what it says? Street Smart? We have arcade. Let's get out of that. TNK 3, which is arcade. Vanguard, which is arcade. Now, there's something neat with these. So you see the little flag, the region flag over there. Some of these games you could switch the region, and it will reflect in the artwork that is shown and the little wheel logo. I thought that was kind of cool. Some of them will be in Japanese, some of them won't really change much, but it's still pretty neat. Like some of them, the background will change as well, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. So you do have some options as well. Each game there's going to be options. Some of them are going to be different. You don't have the same options for every game. But a lot of these arcade style games, you'll get difficulty lives, bonuses earned, continues on, main options. Most of them it's just, you know, language options. And then you do have some control options. I thought that was pretty cool. Before we jump into any gameplay, checking that out real quick. And I have messed with this a little bit, so I do have some early impressions of playing with this game. But the other cool thing is the museum feature. Museum feature, you have a lot of artwork and game soundtracks. The game soundtracks, I think, is a really awesome touch. So for all these games that are on here, you can just go ahead and pick one, whatever you want to look at. Let's see, Psycho Soldier, and you can play the music from the game. Or you can shuffle them too, which is pretty cool, and just play through, repeat songs. There's some options there. I think that's pretty cool. We won't mess with too much of that. Just want to kind of briefly go over this bonus stuff. Bonus features, you're going to have some advertising artwork, behind the scenes concept art, video game land newsletter, arcade guidebooks, and these are all like in Japanese, but they're still pretty cool. Like if you go into one of these, you can advance through and look at everything. You can also zoom in, and these are very good scans, so everything comes through crystal clear, I think. I mean, if you don't know Japanese, this really isn't going to be much information to you, but I still think it's pretty cool to peep out and take a look at. You could start a slideshow and just have it scan through everything, which I think was pretty awesome. The other stuff, like I said, there's, you know, some advertising things, SNK in the West. You can look at some box art, some advertisements. Pretty cool, pretty cool. The SNK Complete Works 1978 to 1990, so all the games you can go through and look at some information, promotional information, all that kind of stuff. And it'll give you little blurbs on everything for the game. So I thought that was pretty cool for sure. So let's go ahead and actually just take a look at some gameplay here. Chrysalis is a pretty cool game. Really a game that you could put some hours into. Don't really want to start that one up. It is nice. It does have some little graphical issues that you could see, which is typical of if you're actually playing the real game. So not anything major there. Let's see, POW. Let's jump into the arcade version. Now, the one thing I think is pretty damn neat is you could hit watch and it'll actually do a professional playthrough of the game, and you can just sit there and watch the game be played through. Some people might not care, but I thought that was pretty cool. So let's just go ahead and start a new game. So to pretty much pause the game or get into options, you hit the minus button, and you have a few options here, you know, quit, reset, load, save game, your controls. You can also change full screen to stretched, which nobody's going to want to do stretched for the most part. Sharp screen kind of, you know, shrinks it back down and it's a little sharper. Full screen, you get more, real estate of the screen taken up. Filters, so you have TV filter, which is like a CRT filter, monitor filter, or filter off. I'm just gonna leave the filter off. Now, all the games also have like bezels, borders around them. You can turn them off or on. Pretty nice because it's all unique to each game. So definitely pretty cool. The one thing I can't really show as I'm playing this on a monitor, but if you're playing it in handheld mode, there's actually screen orientation. So some of the games like Alpha Mission, you can put it in the vertical mode and prop up your Switch and play it that way, and your controls will reflect that as you're playing it. So I thought that was damn neat. But from playing these games, I think Digital Eclipse with their game engine and the emulation, I think they've done an excellent job. I've really not ran across too many issues. There's a couple games I've noticed, like some very minor screen tearing or some like shimmering effects going on, but nothing like distracting. It's not like crazily distracting, but it's something worth pointing out that I have noticed. I'm not really seeing anything in this game. It looks good, plays good. Input lag is to be expected, nothing major, just gonna be dependent upon your HD TV and whatnot, but everything feels responsive. I'm not really perceiving any kind of lag or anything. Everything's functioning, even though I'm sucking right now, so no big deal. But let's go ahead and get out of that. You could save your game or quit with no save. I'm gonna go ahead and quit with no save. Just try something else out real quick. Prehistoric Isle, why not? Let me just show you. If you go to watch, whatever, you can have the display up however you want. It's just gonna show it. You can sit there and fast forward. You can, skip ahead a little bit and just watch the game being played, which I thought was kind of cool. The little bar at the bottom disappears and it's just playing. It's like the game is just being played and being played fairly well to completion. So you could sit here and watch the whole thing. I thought that was pretty damn cool. So let's quit playback. You can just go to start playing and just start playing the game. Woohoo! I should have turned that off, but hey, thanks for the subscription, guy. Mauricio. Oh man, my bad for leaving that on. That's kind of unprofessional of me, right? Not really, who cares? Right, so Psycho Soldier, let's check that game out real quick before we end it. Just want to give you guys a little impression of what the games look like, what's included, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I really don't know this game, but hey. Oh crap. One hit kills you, huh? What? But yeah, some people are gonna have nostalgia for this. Not necessarily this game, but the package in general. I have nostalgia for some of these games, not all of them. Like for example, this one, I'm not really that familiar with this game, but I think for the price, it's a $40 game. Comes with 14 games initially, plus another 11 within the month they're gonna be putting up for download. So that's 25 games plus, console and arcade versions for plenty of them. So that really increases the numbers when you really think about it. And I'm really happy with this purchase. Like I said, some minor issues, graphical issues. Sound so far has been good. Not really anything to complain about. The overall package, the presentation is excellent. I'm really digging this. So just wanted to give you guys a little impression on it. Not really a review or anything. I don't really review games, but I thought this was one that I really should share with you guys. So really do appreciate you guys stopping in, hanging out with me for a few moments of your time to check this out along with me. I already pre-checked it out a little bit, but not much. Just wanted to kind of get ready to do this video. But thank you guys. Smash that like button, slap that freaking notification bell around, just beat the crap out of it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.